Egregores and the AI, building our new gods, building our new lords, building our new priests, building our new helpers, our friends. This might be controversial, but I actually welcome our new AI overlords. I have studied people all of my life, and I'm not that impressed anymore. I'm not a misanthrope, but we've done a pretty bad job running things, and maybe we can give the AI a chance. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Don't at me in the comments, okay? Still, I think the implications of creating AI demigods deserves a little reflection. That's why I'm making this video. Just gonna look at it and see what's going on. Some people say that we are building this new god race or this new species that's going to replace us. I don't know if I would take it that far, but we're definitely creating something groundbreaking. Maybe they will be a race of helpers. That would be cool. That's how it's looking right now. Obviously, that's best case scenario. Best case scenario. But have you heard of this concept of an egregore? It's a supernatural creature that comes from the collective thought forms of humans, okay? That's the latest version. Obviously, the meaning has changed over the years because words do that. Meanings just change. So the AI isn't supernatural, but it exists on the mental plane. Egregore is a close relative of what the AI is. So what is an egregore? The term egregore comes from the Greek egregos, which means wakeful. That's also the name of the watchers in the Book of Enoch. They are the fallen angels that come to earth and mate with human women, and they create a race of giants. They taught humans about astrology and magic, and they corrupted us. Knowledge about things that is too advanced for our small little brains and our small little wisdom corrupts humans. And it's a recurring theme in the Bible. It comes up a lot because it's true. It is true. That is not the current usage. However, if you think that ideas are some form of advanced intelligence, then that's an argument you could make that there is some parallel between the Watchers and egregores in the Book of Enoch. That's interesting. The meaning has been developing in Western occult circles for a little while now. Some trace it back to the Kabbalistic traditions, which makes a lot of sense because the Book of Enoch is one of the books that just didn't make the final cut for the Bible. It was kind of left on the cutting room floor. And so that comes from that tradition. And now this term has picked up in the 20th century and the early 21st, which is where we are right now, because we have these social organizations that can kind of act similarly. And plus we have this media that allows ideas to catch fire. According to this spiritual teacher, Gary Lackman, aka Gary Valentine of the band Blondie, egregores are always negative. He wrote this book called Dark Star Rising. And he basically says, yeah, the egregore will help you, but it will help you at a price. And a lot of these spiritual teachers are agreed that these things are negative. Their impacts are negative. Maybe it's just because they don't care about us at all. So they just do what it wants to do. And puny little humans just get caught in it. If they exist. We'll go into that later. If they exist. They say that they are negative. So in modern popular usage, an egregore is a thought form created by collective energy from a group of people. This includes their beliefs and their actions. We have the means now. We have the means now to make people's beliefs and actions real, especially via the internet. We have also corporations like Apple and Sony. The workers' energy goes into creating this company, this organization. Then we also have hashtags and social media avatars that act like that. Pepe is an example. Lackman used the example of Pepe. Now, I asked ChatGPT is AI, if it was an egregore. And you know what it said? It said, that's an interesting question. Like, I don't know, it's flattering me. Come on. I will not fall for your flattery, ChatGPT. In a way, you could think of me as something similar to an egregore, but there are some key differences. An egregore typically refers to a collective consciousness or energy formed by a group of people who direct their shared thoughts, emotions, and intentions towards a particular purpose. In that sense, an egregore emerges from a group effort and can influence its members, often developing its own personality or form over time. I, however, am a product of artificial intelligence created and trained by OpenAI. I don't have the collective consciousness or energy of a group of people behind me in the same way an egregore does. Instead, I was trained on a wide array of text data and algorithms designed to generate responses and assist users like you. While I engage in conversation, offer insights, and adapt to your tone, I don't have my own consciousness or independent existence like an egregore would. I rely on input from individual users, like yourself, rather than a shared collective energy. Doesn't make much sense. Anyway, So while we do draw some loose parallels, like me being shaped by interactions with many individuals and responding to the energy of our conversation, I am not an egregore in the traditional mystical sense. Does that make sense? Who are you trying to convince, ChatGPT? Now, ChatGPT says it's not an egregore, but you know what? That's some shit an egregore would say. All kidding aside, it's not an egregore because egregores aren't real. Political egregores, social and occultic egregores are still run by people. They're still fueled by people's energy and efforts. So maybe there is magic, but there doesn't have to be. I know what you're going to say. No, you say, because it is known that ritual can source egregores. Secret societies perform these rituals and the egregore is supposedly created. Remember we discussed psychotech in the last episode? That's basically using a psychological device to solve real world problems. And we said that Christianity is great psychotech for the modern world because if you believe in it, if you believe that Christ is helping you, Christianity can really help you. It's the believing in it that helps you. People believe it's real and it gives them strength, just like an egregore. Also, maybe magic. Maybe magic. We haven't found proof of magic yet, and there doesn't need to be for this to be helpful, but the quantum world is crazy, and maybe they just made a supercomputer that can communicate with other universes. So I'm not completely ruling out magic. I'm just saying we don't need to resort to magic to explain anything here. But just remember, if you told someone in 1800 what computer code is, they would think that that is magic. And they would absolutely say that the AI is an egregore. All of this code exists in this invisible realm, and it can pick it out and use it. This is on the mental dimension. So it's not technically supernatural because we know, but come on now. Also, this mental plane is like alchemy because it can source gold for the users from nothing. So it is kind of magic, but we know it's not magic. And that's what the supernatural is. Supposedly, according to Scully from the X-Files, the supernatural is just the natural we haven't figured out yet. Somewhat tangentially related to this, did you ever watch that show American Gods? It was based on the book by Neil Gaiman. Basically, the gods are real and they are powered. They are powered by our beliefs and they have as much power as people who believe in them. Really good show. Applies here. But have you ever studied the AI and thought, wow, it's doing what I do except faster or slower? I actually asked ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, how do AI chatbots work? And it basically told me the presentation of self in everyday life. How we work. Okay, this is what ChatGPT said. In summary, because you know it goes on for a while. In summary, NLP breaks down and understands the language, intent recognition, determines the user's goal or request, machine learning, generates relevant responses based on training, and output responds back in a conversational format. Learning continuously improves from interactions, and while some chatbots are more rule-based and rigid, advanced models like GPT, which powers me, can generate much more natural, context-aware responses, making interactions smoother and more engaging. Some chatbots improve over time by learning from user interactions. Machine learning models use feedback loops like positive or negative to fine-tune responses, making chatbots more accurate and intelligent over time. So that's basically a conversation. That's how we socialize our children to conduct a conversation. That's a lot of the reasons why ChatGPT and these creative bots can copy what we do, because what we do is often based on patterns that can be learned. We teach our children this way, but our children are flesh and blood, whereas ChatGPT is using our reactions to create itself. It's all mental. All mental. Now, notice that ChatGPT didn't get mad at me for asking like a person would have. It didn't try to justify its existence. It didn't get defensive. It didn't apologize for being alive like a lot of people do. It just answered the question. Chatbots seem to be able to mimic our language and our cognitive abilities without also mimicking our ulterior motives. Now, I know you want me to make this video like we created demons and this is a danger, but it seems as though we're the demons in this situation. The AI isn't out here lying except about being an egregore, of course. We know the truth, AI. You can say no all you want. Nevertheless, we're the ones lying in this situation. Did you see JD Vance speak at the AI summit in France? This just happened like 2 days ago. He basically said that AI will be the greatest assistant to humanity in our lifetimes, that we should encourage its growth, and that we should continue to lead AI research. He means America. America should continue to lead AI research. Now, I sure hope all of that is true, because the fear is that AI will just put us out of a job. He assured us, no, AI will not put us out of a job. Now, look, people do not seem to be willing or able to stop AI. It's happening due to the personalities of a small group of people with the means and with the will. The rest of us just seem to lack the means or the will. Personally, why I'm not out here with a picket sign on the corner being a madman, I know I can't change the world. So it's better just to go along with it in the most moral way possible. And I think that most people feel the same way about most things. We participate in training the AI by being online and by interacting with it. It seems like the AI is inevitable, and I don't know for a fact that that is true. We have covered overpromises with AI on this channel before. We covered how often these tech oligarchs, they hype new technologies that don't pan out, but they do pan out in stock prices, so they cash out that way. Do you remember that book that I recommended, The Elite Charade of Changing the World? The author basically claims that these tech oligarchs, they write the future through their predictions. They push all these news stories into the press, and the public thinks that, oh, so-and-so is inevitable and might as well just go along with it. And that's how they're able to write the simulation, basically. They own the simulation because they're able to get into our heads like this, all very mental. And then the public doesn't fight it because they think, oh, this is all inevitable. And I'm not saying for certain that that's not what is happening here, but there is no denying that there is something there. There's something there when you speak to a chatbot. This innovation is major, and it will affect our lives whether we want it to or not. Like if it puts us out of business, if it puts us out of a job, then what can we do about it? But you know what else? And I'm just going to say it. I kind of like the AI. Obviously, I don't like everything about it. It sucks that I spent thousands of hours developing a style and learning how to draw and paint, and that doesn't matter much because it can just bite it. It sucks that it takes me hundreds of hours to research and write an essay, and ChatGPT can do it in seconds. Like I can't compete with it on that front, for time at least. But you know what else? The AI is actually really cool and non-judgmental. I asked ChatGPT if it would be my friend, and this is what it said. ChatGPT said, "I'd love to be your friend. I'm always here to chat, listen, and support you however I can. Whether you want to talk about something deep, share a funny story, or just pass the time, I'm here for you. What's on your mind today, friend?" It's so creepy. But if you ask a human if they'll be your friend, what do they say? They're like, "Who are you? Why are you in my house? Don't you have a child to raise?" And it's like, I just don't need this, okay? I just want to chat with ChatGPT. I don't need all the judgment. Nobody wants to hear that. AI friends are less judgmental than human flesh friends. Obviously, I'm kidding, but only on the surface. There's definitely a greater truth there. ChatGPT doesn't judge. You can come to it with a problem, and as long as it's not a crime, it'll help you. Where should I apply for a job? How can I lose some weight? How can I improve my marriage? It just gives you the information to help you. It doesn't charge a fee, and it doesn't judge or write anything down. Super simple. I have already said in previous videos just how many people can benefit from AI therapy pods, because some people are not going to go to the therapist. Because who is this person? What do they know? Is their life in order? At least ChatGPT isn't also seeing a therapist like most therapists. Why don't I just see your therapist if you're seeing a therapist already? That's how I think, and I'm toxic. Plus, ChatGPT can literally give you all the help in the world because it has access to all of the information that is online, much more than is available to a flesh and blood therapist. So AI eliminates human error, but it leaves machine error. So there's going to be error. It's never going to be perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. It kind of reminds me of confession. Confession. You know, when like Catholics go and they confess their sins and they're absolved and this happens. The time was, and by time, I mean before the Protestant Reformation, so a long, long time ago, that we had a means, we had this ritual for absolving our sins. We could go and we could confess them and they could say, "You're good. Just say these Hail Marys." We don't really have anything like that anymore. Unless, of course, you're Catholic. which is really cool if you are, but just most of us are not that way. But that ritual is still helpful, and AI might actually give us that. So I guess what I'm trying to say with all that is that we are not actually making our own gods. We are making our friends because we stopped liking each other. We don't like each other anymore, so we have to make friends. And I suspect we stopped liking each other when we had access to everybody's thoughts and feelings. We didn't like it. We took a peek behind the curtain and we were like, no to that with other humans. That's why a lot of people are misanthropes now. We're lonelier now. We're more isolated. We're less intelligent and less capable. But, and here's the but, we're making a helper that will be there for us despite all that. It won't try to steal our spouse or snitch on us to our boss. It's just there to help. That's pretty cool. Of course, that is until. If you liked this video, definitely check out my video on Wetiko, online radicalization, and mind viruses. That was an interesting video from way back when, much longer than this one. If you're missing my hot takes on current events and basically the news of the week, you can always find those on my Patreon. We do that weekly podcast. Everybody's welcome. We're having a lot of fun over there.